linked to your question on climbing the ladder, I'm seeing a lot at the moment, people questioning whether climbing that ladder is still worth it. We've never been as confronted with our own mortality as we are now. I think for you to effectively climb that ladder, you need to now acquire not only expertise in the functional space, you also need to acquire complexity fitness skills.
It does. Thank you so much. We'll see as the day unfolds.
Nisema, is that how I say your name?
That's correct. You know what? There's this lady by the name of Sonja. You know, she writes a lot of nonsense, lots of nonsense. And I just wanna, if you allow me, there's a comment that we made earlier today. But there's three bubbles: comprehensibility, manageability, and meaningfulness. I think there's something about coherence. You spoke about complicated systems and complicated what. And it seems like from the opening video, it seems like most of us, even the experts, we are now all searching in the dark. And I could think about, if I think I will feel fulfilled when I'm climbing up the corporate ladder, that sense that we are all in the dark just kills that whole motto totally. Why I'm saying this is because the old school way of doing things, of climbing the corporate ladder, was based on certainty. To say, once you have 12 months experience as a team leader, you're gonna move to manager of, team leaders, and move from there, manager of others, manager of managers, manager of function, and all of that. But hang on a second, now you're telling me that even a manager of function could have the same cognitive capabilities as the manager of self or a manager of team leader, because we are all in the dark, we discovering things the same way. So that changes this thing that Sonja wrote about, sense of coherence. Because now, all of a sudden, the playing field has changed. Now the question becomes, who decides on who should be the manager of function? Who decides that Ramaphosa should be the president when it comes to COVID-19? Shouldn't we let the people tell what should happen in COVID-19? Because all of us, the only difference between us and Ramaphosa is that he got the information 30 minutes before he tells us. Even in our business, who should decide on it becomes very difficult. And how do you manage people if I'm getting the same information the same time as everybody else in the team is getting it? Execs walks into the meeting, we did that scenario. Execs walks into the meeting and he tells me, oh, forget about that thing that you've been battling with for 3 weeks. Things have changed. All of you are working from home. And we all get shocked at the same time. And Sonja is writing here, but...
So Sonja writes many things. No, the same, I get what you're saying, but I think... So we're going to go into Canan now as well, the Canan Framework, and I think maybe to just state this as well, not everything is complex. So we do still have complicated environments, but those environments are kind of embedded in larger complex systems that are unpredictable. So there is still legitimate expertise. If you think about it, so the head of IT, I could not be the head of IT, I don't know enough. But so from the perspective of all of us needing to acquire, let me call them complexity fitness skills, or almost a complexity or a change fitness orientation, and these are things like very human things like being curious, bringing our imagination to work, the ability to adapt and to improvise, when things change around us. Those kinds of skills, I think that we all need to have. And we are all in uncharted territory when it comes to where the broader system is going. So we're all in the uncertainty together. I don't believe, for example, that there can be something as an expert in complexity. So I always tell people, please don't introduce me like that, because that is an oxymoron, because complexity is... But that doesn't mean that if you studied for however many years to become a chartered accountant, or if you're an expert risk manager, or if you're an expert in IT systems, that expertise means nothing. and that you can't, in that sense, climb the corporate ladder. What it does mean, though, is if I'm the one making the hiring decisions, and I need to choose between you and, for example, and is more adaptive, she's more open to different perspectives, she's able to span boundaries and not only work in a silo, then I would probably, if all your qualifications are equal, go with her. Because she doesn't only have the expertise that sit in the complicated system, she also has the ability to navigate complexity. And I think that is the, and if you, that coherence framework, and we're going to spend quite a lot of time in that framework, but I think linked to your question on climbing the ladder, I'm seeing a lot at the moment, people questioning whether climbing that ladder is still worth it.
True.
It's almost as if, I think we've never been as confronted with our own mortality as we are now. We're surrounded by, loss. And we know that our life is very short. And I see many people questioning from a meaning perspective, is this what I want to spend my life on? If you do choose to do it, then the path remains open. But I think for you to effectively climb that ladder, you need to now acquire not only expertise in the functional space, you also need to acquire complexity fitness skills. I don't know if that makes sense. So I don't have to go and rewrite all my blogs.